Okay. Okay. The next thing we're going to do now is to set the path. By setting the path, we are saying that the path where this uh, Python will interface with Power BI is going to be through Python, this path. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this and edit. I'm going to copy this and edit. I go to CMD. I'm going to paste this here and edit this because the name I have on my own system is Python 38, not 34, 38. So what I'm going to do now is to just set from user set path to be this. I click on enter. So it's saying one of the data being saved is configured to character. Access to the registry path is denied. So let me do that again. Enter. This is the same block, so I'm going to allow all success. 25 value was saved. So I think my antivirus is trying to block, so I allowed it. So after that, the next thing you're going to do is you do pip install pandas. Pandas is what you use to convert, you use it to convert a data set. For example, if you have a data set that is written like this, in form of a list, you need to convert it to a data frame. What I mean by data frame is something that has to do with rows and columns. That is what we call data frame. So pandas gives your data structure. So I'm going to erase what I've written here. So if I run this, I should have this collection. I click on enter. So let me click here. Okay. So let me click on enter. Pandas. Okay, let me give it an alias as PD. Okay, so pip install pandas as PD. Okay, um, do I need to do as? Let me just do install pandas alone. Click on enter. Let me see. So it's going to collect that variable and install. Okay, it's saying this is already in existence because I have actually downloaded. And if you have not downloaded, the first thing you do is ensure you run the part. After that, ensure that you run this. So when you run this, it will tell you collecting variable install. So if you install that, but now it's giving me a warning that you are using PIP version 20.23. However, version this is available. 21.0.1 is available. So it's giving me a guide on how to upgrade. So it said for me to upgrade, I should type in Python pip install something. So it's telling me to run this command pip.x install upgrade this. So this command should upgrade my pip. So I enter. So it should, you see, collecting and downloading, installing collection package, successfully installed this latest version of pip. Pip is a is something that you use to install other packages. So it's something in Python that you use to install other packages. So with pip now, I've been able to install pandas. You can see pandas. I've been able to install pandas. Because I now have pandas installed, if I come back to Python, let me open Python. Because I now have pandas installed, I can now say import pandas as PD. PD there is just an alias. So bring in, I just say bring in John as J. So Anytime you are calling John, you don't need to call John, you call J. The same thing. Get me pandas, which is a module, and give it an alias. And the alias should be called PD. So if I click on enter, it should run successfully. That is correct. So this is fine up to this level. So the next thing I want to do is to quickly run the first query after this. So if I go to that script, if I come here, I'm going to share all of it. So I'm going to copy this, and quickly run it. So I'm going to run it here. So if I run it, I click on enter, that has run successfully. If I copy the second query, so this is converting the list or the dictionary, that's the list of dictionary into, or that rather, this is a list of lists. So I'm converting it now into a data frame. Can you see? Converting it into a data frame. So if you want to learn how to do Python for data analysis, that's when you learn all of this, because this class is not actually for Python. It's just for me to show you how to connect Python. So I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty. So I'm going to click on enter. It's saying syntax error. Let me see. What have I done? It's possible. Let me do that again. Okay. Okay, I think I dropped this, which is not supposed to be. So let me click on enter now. Okay, that has run successfully. So for me to do something, I want to print out this. I just print df. Df is the data frame. That's the name of that. So I've given it. I've defined the variable, and the variable I have attached this data frame to a variable, and the variable is df. So let me run that variable and see it print out. So you can see. So what can you see here? I see name and age. So what it means here is that this is the name of the person, this is the age, so as I've said that if you look at it, this is Alex, and that's the name, and this is the age. This is Bob. Bob is 12 years old. Clark is 13 years old. That is from this list. You also see that I have also defined here. Of course, this is wrong, because this was I indented this, like I dropped it down. That was why there's a. If you go back to this one now, what I'm doing is I'm calling on this variable. This variable, I've assigned this list to a variable called data. So I'm converting that variable called data, I'm converting it into a data frame using this pd.dataframe. Where is pd coming from? Remember that pd is pandas. Pandas, I can write pandas in short as pd. So I'm calling up a method. This is a method for pandas. Under pandas, you have data frame. So I'm using that pandas.dataframe now to convert this data, which is this list. I'm converting it to a data frame, and I'm assigning a column, that is column header. So each column will carry this name. The first column will carry name, the second column will carry age, and the data type, I want the data type to be float. So for data type, there are floats, there are integers, and there are strings. So now I want it to be a float. A float number is a decimal number. So that is why you have this. So now that means this query can run successfully, or has run successfully with on Python. So because it has executed without error in Python, if I come to Power BI and say get data, and I click on more, so if I say get data and I click on more, and I go to others and I select Python script and I click on connect, that means I'm connecting to a Python script. So that means all I need to do is to bring that script and put it here. Because it has run successfully in Python, then if I copy the same script, remember there was a script we used when we were talking about SQL Server. We run this script successfully on SQL Server Management Studio, and because it's run on SQL Server Management Studio, when we also connect to SQL Server, it was able to execute it. The same thing, if we copy this script now, if you copy it and run it on Python, because it has run successfully on Python, if I copy it and bring it to Power BI, it should execute successfully. So what I will do now is to click on OK. So you can see, you say, I don't know, Python not found. Okay, there is an error somewhere. Name, data frame, preview, download on Saturday, May 2020. So I'm going to quickly correct that. Okay, so whenever you have that kind of error, the first thing you do is to come here and check if Python is in the right directory. So let me come to File and come to Options and Settings, go to Options, then go to, after you've opened up the options, you go to Python Scripting. You see that detected Python home directory should be, so my Python home directory should be this: user app data local Python 39. This is the local home directory. So I'm going to click on this and click on OK. Then let me run the query again and see if I will have a difference. So now you know how to get here. Go to get data, and you see Python script. I click on connect. So I'm going to paste that same query and click on OK. Let me see if this will work. So Python. So I'm still having the same issue. So let me see what the issue is. Error preview data. So let me try to debug this. Okay, guys, I think there's a bug in the version of Python I installed. So it was not properly installed in the right directory. That's why that error keeps coming in. So what I will do is let me try to install that. Let me install our Python again. So come back to what was downloaded and click on install. This time I'm going to specify the directory. So I'm going to do custom. So I'm going to do next. So add to Python environment variable, add Python to environment variable. So now I want to browse this, install location. So I don't want it to install in this location. So I want to install it under my program file. So I'll come here and go to this computer, go to local disk and go to program file. So I'm going to do OK. So install. So I'm going to wait for it to finish installing. Okay, so that has successfully installed. So you come to File, then come to Options, Settings, go to Options, then set the directory at again. So you set the Python scripting, and now you know I said I installed it under Program Files. I'm going to select Program File. I'm also going to browse where the ID is, the the Python compiler. So that was I came here. I went to local drive this, go to Program Files where it is, and locate it. This is Python. That is fine. So I click on OK. So by clicking on OK, I should be fine. So the next thing I'll do is to now get my data, come here, then go to others, click on what is it again? Python scripting, then click on connect. This time you're going to copy and paste this from the notepad. So that you're going to delete this print because we are not printing. We are only just converting our variable to a data frame. So click on OK and let's see what happened. So you say connect. So okay, give this error. Look at the last part of the error. It's saying module not found. Module not found error. No module need matplotlib. Matplotlib. So we are going to import that into our CMD. We need to install that. Just the same way we install pip install pandas. We're also going to do pip install matplotlib. So what is matplotlib? Matplotlib is the module for creating visualization in Python. That's the module for creating visualization in Python. So let's try to install that and see if collecting matplotlib. So it's going to collect that and install. You know that when you are doing all of this, you have to be connected to the internet. That's very important. So using catch by passing requirement already certified. So let's finish running this. We are using this VIP. Okay, we've done that before. Okay, this is fine. So matplotlib is installed. So let's edit and try again. So it was asking for matplotlib. So let's click OK and see if this will work. Now that we have matplotlib installed. Okay. Okay. Yes, we did it. So now, what do we have? I have my DF, my data frame. You can see. Yes, yes, good. So I now have my data frame. Now, let me just do a recap of what we've done. We've installed Python. We've added Python to our directory in Power BI. We have created a script in Python. We have installed two modules. We've installed pandas. We've installed also matplotlib. So now we have also see that we can just write a script and import that as a data frame. So now what we'll do is that we select this, and because this data is well formatted, I'm going to do load. So what you will see is that you will see another table added to this potential security risk. We'll add a second data source. From a data source might include a query that is sent to other data source. Yes, this is fine because I've connected to a database, and it's asking me that if I add this data source to another data source, there is tendency that I'm exposing my my data. So I still want to go ahead with the risk. So you can see from here, you can see from the data frame, you see age and you see name. Okay, so let me quickly fix this. Relationship detection. There is a missing relationship between these fields. No, I'm going to go back. So I can't add that because there's no relationship between this and what I plotted before. So what I will do, let me go back. Go back. Okay. So what I will do is to come back here and then delete this. Is that clear? So I'm going to delete this. Then I'm going to delete this as well. I'm going to delete this. So I can then plot age and the name as a line chart, for example, or as a bar chart. Let me see. So I bring age to value. Okay. I bring name to axis. Okay. So does it mean that all of them are the same age? Count of age, not count. I'm not going to do a count of age. I'm just going to do, oh, you see something? Age, I need to define what data type is on age. It is recognized as a text here. So I'm going to say it's a whole number. Age is a whole number. So I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to change that to a whole number. This graph should change now and detect the age. And also there should be a summation sign here. We couldn't automatically convert the data to a whole number. We couldn't automatically convert this. Okay. So let me go another way to go about this. So let me come here. So let me go to df and try changing that from here. Age. Oh, I think I was changing name here. Let me change age. Age is what I should change to whole number. Age. The data type change you store differently. Yes. So let me see if that will work. Age. Yes. You see that age has been converted to whole number now. So this my graph should also reflect the new thing, meaning that age here, instead of a count, I can do sum of age. So if I do sum of age, this graph should show the, okay, you can see that it has shown the age. So I have just imported a data set using Python script. I've just done what? Imported a data set using Python script. So the next thing we're going to do is to try other example of another kind of Python script. So let me bring up another script. So I'm going to do get data again. So this get data, I'm also going to do that from a, let me see, I'm going to do that from a Python script as well, others. So I'm going to do that from a Python script. I'm going to connect. So this time I'm going to bring up another. So I'm going to bring out another query. This one contains more data sets. I'm going to bring up this query. So I'm going to copy that and paste it here. Now I'm also creating a data set. This, but the difference between this and that is that this one has more data than the one we used ab initio. So when this one run now, you should see another data set. So this is another data set, you can see this one now has more what? More information. Because if you look at the script, it contains the first name, the age, weight, gender, state, children, and pets. So the same thing, that's where they are here: first name, age, weight, gender, state, children, and pets. So I'm going to load this as well. But there is a name, there is a data set called DF. So let me see what will happen if this will throw up an error, or it's going to give it another name. Apply, giving me an error. So what will it say? DF2, detecting relationship. So it has automatically named it DF2. Can you see? And it's saying trying to detect relationship. There's no relationship between DF1 and DF2. So I'm not saying you should create relationship for me. You get? So DF2 is this. So we have successfully imported two data frames using Python script. We have successfully imported two data frames using Python script. Then the next thing we're going to do is, how do we now use this Python visual? These are two different things. We have used Python script. Now, how do we use Python visuals? And I told you the last time that for us to use Python visual, that has to do with matplotlib. So with the matplotlib, we have imported, or we have we have imported. Then we can create visualization using this Python script. So now let's get to that. So I'm going to create another page, or a fresh page, which is called page 2. Then I'm going to now write my script. So the first thing is to import this. Let me first click on Python Visual. So enable. So you need to enable script visual to begin scripting. Okay. I'm going to click on enable. So with enable, it will automatically, so let me click on this, or click on this rather, click on this interface, or click on the visual. So let me go to the script options. Okay. Okay. Then let me just bring a field. Let me bring a field into this visual. Let me bring, for example, if I want to plot gender, I'm going to bring gender to the visual. You know, now I'm plotting gender. Oh, I didn't put it where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to delete this. So this is Python. This is Python visual here. So I'm going to put it on this. Exactly. So I'm going to bring this, or I can bring it here. So I bring in gender, bring into Python's visual. You can see that it has automatically generated a set of codes here. The following code to create a data frame and remove duplicates, this and everything. The data set is called to pandas.dataframe gender. So I need to also do gender and maybe the number of children as well. I'm adding it to that. Apart from that, I'm also adding the number of pets. So instead of bringing it here, you can as well just click here, the weight. That will be added to the information you have. You can see that that has been added to the information you have under value. And as well, if you come here, you see that that has been added to what you have here. So it has seen, it has given this data set. This is the name, and this is my pandas that has been converted to a data frame. And these are the different series, different columns in my data set. So you look at it: weight, the pet, the children, the gender. So these are the things I'm going to be using to plot. So I want to plot the gender, and I want to know the weight per gender, and I want to know the pets and the weight. Then let me put first name. I think that will be better. Let me not just use all of these variable alone. Let me use first name. So you can see that immediately I click on first name has been added. So you see, paste or type your script here. So now it is time for us to begin to code, because it is coding that will make this to come out. So we're going to begin to code now, and it is the code you write that will bring out your visualization. So when you're coding, the first thing you will do is to first import the module that you use for your code. I say import matplotlib dot plt dot pyplot rather dot pyplot as plt. So import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. That's the first thing. So this is going to import the module for visualization. So the next thing we're going to do is to now try to use this data frame. Remember, can you remember this data frame? This data set. So we're going to use that data set to act on the kind of plot. So we are going to tell this data frame or the data set. So we're going to do data set, which is this dot plot. So I'm telling that I'm plotting that information that has been put into this data set. Look at this data set. So I'm plotting it. So for me to plot, I need to supply some arguments. So the first is that I need to specify the kind of plot that I want. So I'll put kind to be equal to scatter. So that's the kind of plot I want. I want a scatter plot. That is one. Then I put a comma. Then I'm going to specify what will be in the x-axis. So I want x-axis to be, so x-axis, I want it to be equals to the, so what are the two things we should plot? Two variables. Maybe we should plot the age and the weight. So let's x-axis be age. That's column age. Then let the y-axis be weight. So y equals to weight. So bringing that for me. So that's fine. So another thing I need to specify is the color of the plot. So I want the color, remember this is American spelling, to be equal to red. So I want the color to be equal to red. Then I think that is fine. But the last thing I need to also specify is that I want it to show. I want this plot to show. So I say PLT. Remember, what is PLT? PLT is my module for plotting, which I have imported here. Remember, I import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. So I'm going to call on that PLT now and say PLT.show. So PLT.show will print out the your image. So if I click on enter, or rather run this, let me run it, then I should have my visual, all things being equal. Okay, it's saying that there is error. So I'm going to also work and see where the error is. See details. So from see details, you will know what the error is. Python script error, name age is not found. Okay, name age is not found. So let's see. Okay, I did not have age as part of what I put here. So let me put pets. and then width, rather pets, because there's no age as part of what I put. Pet and age, pets and width. So if I run this now, so it's also giving me error. So let me see what the detail of the error is. Pet is not defined. Pet is not defined. Pet is not defined. So let me see. Pet is not defined. What I'm going to do, I'm going to remove everything. Let me remove gender, children. Let me leave pet and okay. So let me run this and see. Same. So let me also remove that from here. I'm going to remove gender. So I'm leaving pets and width. So let me see what the result will be. So let me just leave these two things that I'm plotting and run it again. Okay, so let me see. Pets is not defined. Okay, let me see. Pets. That's pets. This is pets. So what could be the issue? So let me quickly check what the issue. Okay, I think I get what the issue is now. The issue is that at the point I'm calling on these variables, I should put them in quotation mark. So I should put them in this format. That is when it can easily call on them. So let me run it now. See if that is going to show. Okay, this is fine. So we have successfully plotted using R Visual. So you can see that pets is on the x-axis as specified here, and weight is on the y-axis. And you can see the corresponding, you can see, as a scatter plot. So let me change this to line instead of scatter. Let me change it to line. Let me see if that will also work. So let me plot a line chart. Will that work? So let me see what the error is. Line is not defined as a valid plot kind. So I don't have line as it's not seen in matplotlib as a valid plot type. So let me see what uh, let me see. Um, let me now plot something else. Okay, let me add something else to this. So assuming I'm going to add the name, let me add a non-numerical variable to this. You know, both are numerical here. So let me add maybe first name. Give me their first name. So I'm going to change this one to first name. F. No. So then I'm going to remove the pets. Then I'm going to run it. But I need to change this kind. I did not specify the kind. It's going to give me an error. So let me change this kind to bar. Let me change the kind to bar. Or I shouldn't start with a capital letter. I think that will also be an issue. That's probably be the issue. I should start with a lowercase. I should start with a lowercase. So if I run it, Oh, I'm still having bar here. Sorry, I should change this to first name, F name, because that's what I want on the x-axis and the weight on the y-axis. Is that what I have here? Yes. Okay, so let me execute this now and see. Okay, good. So you can see the names. You can see the names, and you can as well see. So let's expand this. Let's put it on focus mode. So you can see the names, and you can see the weights. And this has been arranged in ascending order. So you can as well change the order of increment, either it's in descending order or all the likes. So let's do some other things, other beautiful things with Python Visual. So apart from this, you can as well specify what to be on the Y label and X label. So for example, let me see if I want my um, Y dots or if I want to do if I want to label my axis, that is possible. So let me see data set dot X label. I'm not really sure about this. Then I give my X label, give its name. You understand? So let me see if this will work. I'm not really sure. Oh, give me error. Data frame object has no attribute. X label. Uh, um, let me check what the right query is. Okay, I think the right syntax is actually PLT. It's actually PLT dot X label. Then this I put it under two quotation. So let me put it under quotation mark. So I call this one name. So let's try this. This should work now. So I should have a label for my x-axis, which is going to be the name. Well, okay, let me run it. Oh, let me go back. Oh, not showing right. So let me see what the issue is. plt.x label name. Okay, let me use single quotes and see. Check. Okay, not working. All right. So you remember we specify the color as red. So let's see if we can do a blue color. We specify the color as blue. Let's see if it's going to give us a blue color. Okay, it's blue. Let's see if we do green, if the color will change. Green. So let's do green. Yes, that means the color is changing. So let's change this one to line 2. From bar to line. Let's execute. Yes, that's fine. Line chart is working. Let me check area. area and see if that will work as well. Yes, area chart is working. Let me do what kind of chart again can we do? Let me use it as a heat map. Heat map. Let's see if that will work. Oh, that's throwing up an error. So it's not recognized. Or I didn't type in properly. So line bars, what area? Okay, pie chart. Let's do pie. Let me just type in pie and see if that will work. Pie. Okay, let me add charts to it. Oh, do I need to add charts? Since I didn't add charts to others. That was correct one for. Let me see what the error is saying. Chart not valid. What kind? Okay, let me leave it without a space. Let me see. Okay, so that's not. Let me do a donut. Let me see donut. Then let me see if a donut will work. So if possible, pi is not giving that name, maybe another name. So what kind of chart do I have? I have histogram. Write as hist. Okay. Okay, good. Histogram. So the difference between this and pie charts is just because these things are clustered based on the type. So you can see how we can plot first, how we can get data using Python script, and how we can as well plot using Python Visual. So the next one we're going to go into is R. So we're going to go into R as well and also explore how we can use R to plot and how we can use R as well for our visualization. Is that clear? So let's do that. Okay, so for us to install, for us to work with R, which is this, I'm going to show you that again. So for us to work with R Visual, and as well as working with R script, just the same way like get data and get data from R script, we have to have the R compiler installed. So you need, if I go to order, you see R script. So for me to get data using R script, or for me to create visual using R, I need to be able to have, I need to install R on my system. So let's go on the internet and see how we can download R. R download. So let's see if we can see the latest version of R, download it, and okay, R version 4.05, that's the latest. So download this for Windows. So I'm going to click on this. So it's telling me this application save. So it's going to download this. It's like 84.5 megabytes. So I'm going to wait for it to finish installing. Then I will then run it. So as you can see, R has been downloaded successfully on my system. So I'm going to go to location where it is and try to install it on my system. So I'm going to show folder. Look at R 4.05. I'm going to click on it. So that will run successfully. So English, click OK. Next, next, next. Please specify yes or no, then click on. Do you want to customize the setup option? Let me accept the default. To continue this, please select a different folder. Okay, this is fine. Okay, this is fine. So I'm going to wait for it to run. Okay, now the installation has been completed. So I click on finish. Okay, meaning that I have R installed on my system now. So let me go here and see. You can see I have R 64 bits. That's what I'm going to use. Let me open it up. Okay, this is R, so I can run my script here and it's going to run successfully. So let me copy my R. Let me go to R. Let me go to my folder where I have all my scripts and copy the R script I have written for the purpose of this class. So go to the then come to Power BI, go to Fifth class, Power BI and R script. So I have some brief, just this are just little scripts. Let me see, do I have that here, data frame, this. Okay, this is one. Let me run this script on R and see if it's going to run successfully. Copy this, come to R and execute same. See. Why do I have that? Okay, so let me see. Okay. Okay, what I'm going to do is let me come back to this and just put it on the line so that it won't be seeing it as on being on two lines. So let's assume that this is just a line of code. So because it can execute only a line of code at a time. So let's assume that this is just a line of code. So let us see this as a line of code. Let me click on enter. Okay, it has executed that. So let me go to the next one, which is going to be for me to print that. So print def. So I can just do a print def and execute. You can see that this has been printed in form of a data frame. You can also see that this is converting this particular thing that I have inside the bracket into a data frame. So look at it. I'm converting the name. I've specified the name should have all of this. The children should take all of this. So, and there should be a header. This should be the header for the first column. This should be the header for the second column. And if you look at it, that is it here. Name, children, cars. There's also a third one, which is the cars, the number of cars. Can you see cars? This is also the items you have, and that's the name of that. So now this query has run successfully. Then let me copy that same query and use it and import it into Power BI by using what I call the R script. So I'm going to come back to Power BI environment. The reason why I inserted R, the reason why I have to install R is that let me test the code with R if it's going to work. The reason why we install SQL Server is because we want to test the code on SQL Server is going to work. The reason why we install Python is because we need to test those code before we use them on Power BI. So now I'm going to come here and say more. From more, I'm going to quickly go to Python script for others. I'm going to do R script, rather R script. I'm going to connect to R script. So while I'm connecting to R script, I'm going to paste that same code that I've executed successfully on R. So I'm going to click on OK. So this is fine. Brought out the data. Look at the data. So if I click on load, the data should be loaded into my fields. It should be included here as part of my field as DF3. Okay, this is it, DF3. Can you see it? So this is DF3 that I just loaded. Children is coming in as a test. So I can include it as, let me change it to number. Number of car is also coming in. This is going to be whole number as well. Whole number. I'm going to click on OK. Okay. Okay. Then this. Then the next thing I will like to do now is, having imported this using an R script, I need to also demonstrate how I can use the R visual. That will be the next thing for me to demonstrate.